Welcome back to The Five. Well, 2 California high schools are under fire today for giving out color-coded IDs based on standardized test scores. The IDs allowed stellar students to get very special perks and privileges, while those who didn't perform well were singled out. So they've broken up the students into color cards. They're almost like credit cards, Greg, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a good student, you get a black card, a platinum card, or a gold card. And if you do poorly, you get a white card. What do you think of the idea?
Okay, get this. The critics hate this, because they say it discriminates against kids who have test anxiety. How is that a disorder? We all have test anxiety. That's like discriminating against puberty. It's universal. Our education system is doomed.
Well,
it's over for us.
Actually very,
let's give it up.
It's very evil, too. So the kids who did well, they got free tickets to football games. Other kids, Dana, were actually forced to go into a different cafeteria line and had to wait to get their
It's the opposite of what the trend has been lately in some of the schools, which was that everybody wins.
Yeah.
There's never nobody loses. This is taking it to a crazy extreme that I can't support.
Eric, you're giving a thumbs up.
I love this. Finally, a smart school. And by the way, I'm blown away. It's Anaheim, California, I assume, right? I wonder how they got that passed. Look, applaud these people. Look, you work harder, there should be... You know what it is? It's the anti-Wall Street protest. It's the exact opposite of that, because they want everything handed to them. Here, kids are earning the nicer cafeteria, the tickets to the ball game.
You know, we didn't want to talk about that.
Principal Ben Cartner agrees with Eric, even though he didn't reference the Wall Street protest. Here's his defense. He said, it's the least discriminatory thing we can do. It's not based on anything other than how hard you work to learn the material in the classroom and how well you've performed in this classroom. But Bob, aren't grades supposed to be between students and their teachers, and doesn't it put extra pressure and test anxiety, as Greg said? Do they need that pressure?
Are there any more things to read?
No, that's it for today.
Good. And by the way, only you could bring the Wall Street protest. This is a terrible idea. If it had been me, I wouldn't even gotten a white card.
You would have had it based on attractiveness.
Sure. But the idea that you're going to penalize kids, some kids who, for example, who are Hispanic speakers,
who's penalized?
Minorities.
Penalized in what way?
In what way? They don't do as well.
No, but how is it? No, this isn't penalizing anyone. This is rewarding positive, good test scores.
You get rewarded, and if you come from a good school system and you go with that school and you do well, you get steak in line, and the rest of you sit back there, blacks and browns, sit back there and get pasta.
Oh, this is not about race at all.
Where in the world did anything race?
Some enterprising young kid that was in the lower level group is going to be so smart as to figure out a way to make it be the cool to be in that group, and then he'll be the next Steve Jobs.
But that's the point. They have enough pressure. They have enough pressure, right, Bob? They're divided into these different classes.
They do have a lot of pressure, and I think it borders on racism.
Well, they've actually backed off.
Everything borders on racism.
I know, but you're going to talk about New York
the new global
warming. Yeah, we've noted that. We should note that they did back off this program because of the outrage.
What?
They figured that
now I'm outraged.
Some other way to do it. Now,
when I have a family, this is what I'm doing. This is how real life is.
Cards?
What? Cards.
Right. Quickly, there's a high school in New York that's doing the exact opposite. They are actually passing students even though they failed. Now, this sounds something like Bob can wrap his arms around.
Yes.
No. As a matter of fact, you're going to be surprised here. I think this is a terrible idea. The idea of passing these students up through the school system, what they really want to do is get them up and out, and it doesn't help the kids. It doesn't get them educated. That'll keep them back until they can get educated.
You can only do this if there's no competition. If you introduce competition into K through 12, these schools cannot do this. You're creating horrible schools because they don't have to be good.
Right, you don't have to work. It's that old analogy. I mean, it's 100 years old, but when you're describing socialism, you talk about the kid, you go to the high school, and he says, well, I'm getting an A. Well, can I get some of your A to give to the F? He says, no way, I don't want to do that. Well, then why did you want to do it in the economic sense?
Dana, look at us globally.
You need some bling. You need a big thing that says socialism on it, or put it on big things on your wrist.
Dana, we're already trailing in mathematics and sciences. So what are these schools thinking?
In some places, the science and math education is getting better in America.
It is.
The other thing that's really important, and I'm going to go back to Governor George W. Bush, then President Bush, testing and measuring where people are is the right thing to do. It's best for everybody to know where you are so that you can decide. this ridiculous idea in the New York high school of letting just passing
Washington
people along
Irving, yeah.
will hurt us in the long run, and our grandchildren will be paying the price for this type of behavior later
Well,
on.
it's this stuff and all those other crazy
You're
courses.
supposed to tease now. I'm taking
Thank
the
you,
job
Bob.
of producer here.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I think I've been in enough trouble
you
with
get
it.
extra
Bob.
credit.
All right, tease.
All right, coming up, back in August, we told you how the NYPD was monitoring Muslim groups here in the city to gather intel. Well, now it's going even further, and we'll have that for you next on The Five.
That is one of the most